Welcome back in, everybody. WAJR's Ask the Experts continues. Tony Caridi along with Margie Uryasz and Stephen Gutshall of HealthWorks, Rehab, and Fitness, and we're talking nutrition and fitness, the two of them together. Because without one or without doing both properly, you could be putting your body at risk, right? I mean, one thing to do is if you're going to eat right, if you really want to get the result of that, you need to be having some type of fitness and working out. Or if you're working out, then you need to feed your body, and you cannot go into basically a fast. Otherwise, you could be hurting your body. Break that down for us. When we start to push our body physically, what are we asking our body nutritionally?
Right. So it's really important to fuel your workouts and to be sure that you're getting enough to eat. A lot of people think, and true, people do have to cut back on their intake. You know, most of the time we are not paying attention to portion control and things like that. And so typically, yeah, we may need to cut back a little bit on calorie intake. But if you're working out really hard, it's real important to remember we have to fuel that workout. And that's a good thing. When the body doesn't get enough calorically,
Mm-hmm.
then it kind of can turn into more of a kind of a starvation type mode where everything is being more conserved. So then that weight loss is going to be a much harder thing to achieve. And if you're working out hard and you're not eating enough, that can easily transition into major fatigue and all kinds of problems just health wise along with the workout.
That's really
Um,
interesting when you think about that, because people say, hey, I'm going to crush it here. I'm going to work out really hard, and I'm not even going to eat. But actually, you could be doing damage.
Oh yeah, I mean, your body can only store so much usable fuel. And when we think about burning fat, and our bodies store various amounts of fat, but you have to be able to, you know, access that to burn that. So there needs to be at least some fuel on hand. So if you're going hours and hours, or you're working out first thing in the morning, and you're not fueling properly before or after, there's a dangers there that you're just not getting the most out of your workout, and focus is possibly not there, so there's a risk of injury, things like that.
Timing your eating while you're working out. Should we eat before we work out? If so, what? If not, when? When do you and how do you properly fuel yourself to get the most efficient workout?
I I am a big proponent of we should all be eating regular meals. So, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Um, I typically wouldn't recommend someone have a big meal, obviously, right before a
Sure.
workout. That could be very uncomfortable. However, if I were to say to someone, you're going to go work out around 9 o'clock, I would encourage them to have for sure some carbohydrates, like a whole grain, a toast or oatmeal or something like that, and potentially a little bit of protein. And again, depending on the type of workout, they may need to have a little bit of extra protein after the workout to kind of help replace some of the protein that they've utilized when they're working out with the muscle, especially with strength training. And Stephen, I don't know if you have any other thoughts around that, but
Yeah, a lot of it really depends on the type of
yeah.
workout and the intensity of the workout as to what you need before and after.
Sure.
Plays a big part in it.
Cycling, obviously, a cardio type of an exercise, hydration
Hmm.
is paramount, right?
Sure.
And perhaps more so if you're lifting, doing heavy lifts and things like that. Obviously, it would be more food.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I think people aren't thinking about a lot of times is that we have to have, in order to work out, we're burning energy. Well, we have to put that energy in our body somewhere, prior to the workout. So that's what I always want people to know, that it is okay to have especially carbohydrate containing foods, because that is our main energy producing nutrient
Hmm.
that we take.
I think everyone would be able to control their diet and their weight if it wasn't for one word, and that is hungry. We feel that we're hungry, and we were chatting earlier, and you said there's actually a difference between thinking that you're
Mhm.
hungry and your body is truly absolutely in need of eating. How do we differentiate?
Well, there, and you can look this up, just Google the hunger continuum. It is kind of a scale that tells you, number one, I am starving. I have that physical need for hunger, and we all experience that. I'm sure when we haven't eaten a meal and your stomach is growling, you feel kind of like you have a headache and
Mm-hmm.
you feel almost lightheaded and it's just something's not right, but you need to eat. And then you go all the way to number 10, which is I am stuffed. So
Yeah, I know that one.
we don't really want number 1 and we don't really want number 10, right? So we want to find someplace in the middle. And something that I really work on with all the clients that I see is to learn how to eat until you're satisfied. We need to get away from eating until we're stuffed and we can hardly move. So once we realize how satisfied we are and we accept that, then it's a lot easier to be okay with it.
Okay. So I'm with you. I hear you. So how do we know what satisfied feels like? Because I mean, we
Right.
we get to that point and then, well, a couple more, a little bit more. And then now I'm 10. Now I'm at 10.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, okay. So we all know what it's like to eat, especially I think of Thanksgiving meal, right? And you just eat and eat and eat, and you're uncomfortable. We don't want to be uncomfortable after a meal. That's really the easiest way to put it. And most people will be able to recognize, oh, I am really starting to feel uncomfortable. That's when we stop. The other thing, it takes the brain about 20 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your brain that, hey, I'm satisfied. So one of the other key components and what I really help people do is learn how to slow down their eating. So the slower that they go, then they've allowed their body that time for the stomach to kind of tell the brain, hey, I'm really done. I'm satisfied.
Yeah, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. If you're hearing something that you'd like to follow up on with these folks, we invite you to call HealthWorks 599-2515. 599-2515. You're listening to Margie Uryasz and Stephen Gutshall from HealthWorks Rehab and Fitness. When we come back, maybe a little bit of a deeper dive into some of those foods to run from, foods to maybe embrace, and fitness-wise as well. What is positive out there? What can make a difference for you? We'll get into that and more. Stay with us. This edition of Ask the Expert, sponsored by HealthWorks Rehab and Fitness, will be back here on WAJR.